and the New York Knicks have been eliminated in the 2023 NBA playoffs. Man, oh man, this was one of my favorite years ever as a Knicks fan. I think it was my most enjoyable year ever. The Knicks did not make the playoffs when I was in high school. They made the playoffs in my senior year of college when they lost to the Atlanta Hawks in 5 games, but it really wasn't a competitive series. But this year, like when I'm 23, was by far the most enjoyable season I've had as a Knicks fan. Watching them beat the Cavs in 5 games, watching Jalen Brunson, Mitchell Robinson, RJ Barrett in the second half of that series, Josh Hart, all ball out. And then even though they just got eliminated by the Miami Heat, they put up a really good fight. I honestly thought that they were going to win this series. I thought like the high they had after beating Cleveland, Miami was really going to miss Tyler Hero in this series. And yeah, they just didn't as much as maybe the Knicks anticipated. The Knicks aren't an elite team. They won 47 games throughout the regular season. They were a very beatable team because of their lack of, I guess, offensive shot creating outside of Jalen Brunson. Julius Randle, an all-NBA third-team player who just got announced to that award a few days ago, ended up being abysmal for the Knicks in the playoffs. Can I say I'm surprised? No. I've been the biggest Julius Randle skeptic since year 1 with the Knicks. I didn't enjoy his year 1. I didn't even love his year 2 when he won Most Improved and was on All-NBA second team, helped them go to the playoffs, but I appreciated what he did. And I was like, okay, this is not a guy I want to build around. There's some hustle issues, some defensive issues, some off-ball issues, and when his shot is not going in his isolation, he's basically a useless player. He's basically a detriment to the team. He's more of a negative than a positive. And that's kind of what happened in this series. Jalen Brunson was him, man. He was one of the greatest playoff performers in Knicks history this year. He was somebody that they could rely on. He had 30 plus points in most of the second round games, and he was also great against Cleveland in round 1 in most of those games as well. But when you watch this Knicks team going up against Miami, they desperately need that second shot creator that can, like, you can rely on in isolation, or you can let him go to work there. Because when it came down to it, RJ Barrett, I don't know if he's going to be that guy as somebody that is like you can give the ball to in the corner while Jalen's maybe getting double teamed, or he even is going to go one-on-one with his guy, maybe not even call a pick and roll, step back jumper. I feel comfortable about it. Getting to the rim, I feel comfortable about finishing inside because Jalen Brunson's floater, great. I feel super comfortable when that shot goes off. RJ Barrett, when he gets in the paint, which he's pretty good at, he's really good at driving to the basket and creating separation, he just can't finish the finish. Or at least he just can't finish the layup. He just can't finish a layup. I don't know what he needs to do in the offseason, but like he needs to work on his inside scoring for sure. His three-point shot came alive somewhat in the playoffs in the Heat series, but he needs to work on that as well. And I don't think he's going to be that guy yet. So I'm not saying that, okay, we have RJ coming up next year, they'll be fine in that category. No, they need somebody like a Paul George, like a Jaylen Brown. And those are absolute pipe dreams for the Knicks this offseason, which they're not going to happen. I don't think the Clippers are going to blow it up. I believe that they are going to run it back. I don't even think Jaylen Brown's getting moved out of Boston. Why would they? He's not getting traded. Every team wants Jaylen Brown. He would be perfect on the Knicks. So many other teams can also outbid the Knicks for Jaylen Brown. So I'm not getting my hopes up there either. But the Knicks need somebody that is basically that Julius Randle role. Because if Julius Randle was a smart isolation player that knew how to get his own shots, that didn't force bad shots, that knew how to facilitate well, I would be like, okay, like we are fine. Randle is that guy that could take the workload, the offensive workload off Jalen Brunson in the fourth quarter when it's crunch time. But no, like Julius Randle didn't play a lot of the fourth because he was terrible the whole game. And then when he played, he was kind of useless. He would hit like maybe a crazy three. And you're like, no, he's like the definition of a no, wow, that went in guy. Yeah, like he's that dude. I don't know what happened to like playmaking Julius Randle. Like I missed him when this guy would average 10 assists a game in like a certain stretch, but he just has tunnel vision. He guns the ball. He plays way too fast. Now I love players that play fast up and down the court. You play hard, but he plays like aggressively, like out of control fast, where he's gunning the ball. He's like playing way faster than his body is even like skilled for. And that's just something that I don't really want to see back on the Knicks. Like, you guys know me, I've never really loved Julius Randle on the Knicks, and I don't know what team would want Randle. Maybe there's a desperate team out there that would make a trade. Maybe Phoenix, maybe the Clippers, maybe the Blazers, maybe the Wizards. I'm sure some of these teams would be interested in Julius Randle. Maybe the Hornets, but as a Knicks fan, I don't know. Because if you trade Julius Randle, you're going to get enough back where you're going to be in the same position next year. Because Randle did help them throughout the regular season. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say he didn't. He was All-NBA third team. He was an All-Star again. And he had some games where he won it for the Knicks. There was a regular season game against the Miami Heat where he had a game winner in Miami. And, like, it was a crazy 3-point game winner. And it looks like he was going to turn it over a couple times before then. But he got the job done there. It's just he hasn't shown up in the playoffs. He just hasn't. So if we look at the 3 playoff series Julius Randle has played in, that is the Atlanta series in 2021, the Cavs and Heat series this playoff run. He is shooting 34% from the field in 15 games, 28% from 3, 75% from the line. Oh my God, averaging 17 points, 9 rebounds, and 3.7 assists. 4 assists, 3 assists, 4 assists. Look what he averages in the regular season, and then look at it drop in the playoffs. Like 6, 5, and 4, and it kind of drops a little bit. I guess he didn't average as many assists this year because of Brunson. But still, like, that playmaking goes. The efficiency is just thrown out the window. Like, this is useless, man. This is useless. He's 28. He's not getting better on defense because he's not going to try. There's so many boneheaded plays that he makes, and I'm not going to make this a video about Julius Randle, so it's the last thing I'm going to say on it. I just think, like, he either needs to buy in or they need to just cut their costs now, because the same thing's going to happen next year, and I don't want to repeat myself in 2024. But yeah, the Knicks, like, a good thing about them is they have 11 first-round picks throughout the next 7 drafts that they can move some of those, and they also have most of their core under contract, especially their young guys, like Emmanuel Quickley, Obi Toppin are under contract for another year. RJ Barrett just had that extension kicked in. Mitchell Robinson has that extension kicked in, where it's 15 mil, 14 mil, 12 mil. I didn't really love that contract when it happened, and yes, Mitchell Robinson has his limitations, especially on the offensive end, but this looks like a great value contract. The Brunson contract is crazy. Next year he makes 26 mil, then 24 mil, and I'm sure he'll get an extension done like next year, where he's going to get paid. Randle still has 3 more years, because like, for Brunson's contract being front-loaded, Randle's was back-loaded. Why couldn't they have been vice versa? And Randle's making 28 next year, and then 30, and then 32. Oh, that is a little brutal. But yeah, 48's $18 million expiring. That could be used as a trade chip this offseason. Hartenstein's back for $9 million next year, so you already have your backup center in place. Josh Hart is your one free agent because he's going to for sure opt out of his $13 million player option. But there's already been mutual reports that the Knicks want to, or between Hart and New York, that he wants to be back. So the Knicks will most likely pay him. I'm sure they'll try to get off of the Fournier contract as well, avoid the luxury tax at all costs. Grimes is also under contract next year and the year after with that team option. Miles McBride's under contract next year with the team option. Jericho Sims has 2 more years as well. So, like, a lot of this young core is here. The Knicks don't, like, most likely will not have their first round pick in this draft. It sucks because they had the Mavericks first, which they're most likely going to get next year. It's top 10 protected. They're projected the 10th pick. Rarely do, like, no team in the new lottery system has jumped up from 11, 12, 13, or 14 into the top 4. So it's looking like the Knicks aren't going to get that pick. And then they traded their first round pick, lottery protected, to the Blazers for Josh Hart. It was definitely worth it. But yeah, the Knicks will not be getting their first round pick this year since they made the playoffs. That will be going to Portland. So we're not going to, like, be adding another maybe young piece to this team, which I'm okay with, because you still want to keep those minutes for Grimes, Quickley, and Obi next year. Hopefully have them develop. But if, like, the Knicks, like, could be in the trade market this offseason, possibly with these picks, maybe a young player. They have Fournier and that Derrick Rose contract. If they pick it up, that could be used into trade chips. So we'll see if they end up making a big trade, but I'm not expecting a Jaylen Brown or a Karl Anthony Towns, or hopefully not like a Zach LaVine this offseason. Even though Zach LaVine could be that isolation guy they need, I'm just a little worried about, like, the RJ Barrett, LaVine fit. I just could not, like, unless it's Julius Randle and a LaVine trade, I can't watch Randle and LaVine on the defensive end. But yeah, here are basically the upcoming free agents. The Knicks really aren't going to have much money to spend, but if they are going to look to maybe use that mid-level exception, one player I would like is Dante DiVincenzo. He is a little similar to the Josh Hart role, but I think you can't have enough of these guys that, like, are great on defense, can facilitate, know their spots in the offensive half court, run in transition, smart, high basketball IQ guys, keeps that Villanova lineage with Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson already on the team. So yeah, that would be, I think I would be okay with that. But if they are going to look in maybe another big man type, like, I would love PJ Washington, but they'd probably get priced out of him. And also, like, yeah, Mikal Bridges is somebody that could also come up in trading conversations, but the way he played for the Nets, he's also not getting traded. And, like, I don't think RJ Barrett, Quickley, and picks, like, would even get it done. Like, Brooklyn would probably get better offers from, like, OKC, New Orleans, or a team like that than the Knicks deal, or like Orlando as well. But yeah, I just wanted to give my reaction to the Knicks getting eliminated. I'm a big Knicks fan. They're the team I'm most passionate about in the NBA. So I just wanted to give my thoughts and opinions. Let me know if I'm being, like, completely biased here and you're like, wow, like, this Knicks team is heading in the right direction. They should just run it back. Or do you think I'm kind of right that they should make some, like, minor moves, but I guess it's a major move if you move on from Julius Randle. But 47-35, making it to Game 6 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. It's a success of the season. I would have been just thrilled if the Knicks were in the play-in tournament and made like the playoffs as the 7th or 8th seed. So the fact that they didn't, like, they avoided the play-in tournament as a whole, they ended up beating Cleveland in round 1 and losing in 6 to Miami in round 2. You know, I would have signed up for that when the season started. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I love you guys. I'll have my Knicks rebuild out on the 2K channel on Sunday, so you can be out on the lookout for that. I'll also be live streaming on the 2K channel today as well. 5-year Mexico City expansion rebuild if you want to come out and watch that. Probably will be going live around 4 o'clock Eastern time, 5 o'clock Eastern time, so be on the lookout for that. I love you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.